Frigid and soon to be frosty. Here's a look at the numbers in Pueblo right now. We're 20 degrees, 19 in Canyon City. Woodland Park now entering the teens this hour as well. A few flakes flying around the Pikes Peak region. We've got them. This is a look at Prospect Lake and downtown underneath all the clouds. Right about mile marker 134, I believe, right around this area here along I-25. So keep that in mind. But another cell looks to get going that will affect Pueblo West if it keeps up at its current rate right now. Come on in and take a look at this gorgeous sunset that we have for you looking towards Pikes Peak. That little glow just over the horizon and not a cloud to be found. You couldn't even buy one today. We've got the 38 special here for Black Forest, so a lot of us here in Calhan will be holding on loosely. If we don't get any measurable snow today, that'll be a record. Now, we did get that trace on November 17th. That certainly didn't escape our attention, but here's the reading we have to have for the airport to sign off on it and say we have our first measurable snow. A flash flood warning has now been issued anywhere here in the polygon, so this does include downtown, which can be particularly dangerous because there's only so many drainage areas, and when you pour this amount of liquid in a very short amount of time, things can get very ugly very fast. And this flash flood warning goes until 5:45 tonight, so we're tracking the latest on that. Also with the hail, and I've seen this more often than not, you get a collection of it near the drainage areas, and then that further exacerbates the flooding. So again, flash flooding is expected to occur, if not already, between now and 5:45. In fact, speaking of the hail right now, we've got that pulled up right here as Storm Team 21 continues to keep you apprised of this. So we got two intense areas of this hail right now where you see into the dark blue shaded areas, and the size of this potentially 1.2. That's what the computer estimates, but that is a pretty good bet given the radar returns. And then also right around North Academy, that's where some of the strongest hail is with this as well. And again, we want to be respectful of your viewing habits. We know that, but this dangerous situation setting up right over downtown Colorado Springs. As we transition out of this El Nino, we've hit our peak heat. Now, for the start of it, the storm track, the southern branch to the south, delivering most of the precip to our south and on its way bringing adequate moisture for record snow across the southwest mountains and of course Southern California. Well, as those ocean waters cool, the cooler ocean waters are going to send the storm track just a little bit further to the north, bringing more moisture here to our area. And the bottom line, leading to some areas of heavy rain is how it's setting up for this spring. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for the Whoa Factor. All right, so what are you thinking about October? Were we hotter?
Way hotter.
It was very warm. Hotter than usual.
Very warm. Yes, both answers are correct. As we get ready to go into the boast round. Look at this. A little over 73 for the average mean, okay? Wow. Normally we'd be about 63. The hottest, 86 back on the 15th. But take a look at this. Here are the top four warmest Octobers. 2016 missed it by just a little bit more than a degree. And it's by itself, and that's a problem because it's not getting a lot of guidance from the winds. So you got these big soaker storms going, and it had time to climb up to 50 to 60,000 feet up into the atmosphere. So it's bringing the hail South Academy Boulevard into the Stratmore area all the way down here into Widefield. Okay, now let's get the latest track on this right now as it moves to the northwest and show you that it's only moving at 7 miles per hour, and that's the problem. So as it does so, look at that precip rate, over 3 inches an hour. What we're forecasting, though, is between 1 and 2 inches of liquid, and that is still not a good thing at all. So we're going to take you into 3D radar right now and show you just the towers on this thing. And notice the intense hail cores right here around Cimarron Hills and into the southern half of Powers Boulevard as well. And this climbing to up to 60,000, excuse me, feet into the atmosphere with this particular cell, which is unusual to see in a waterlogged situation like what we have right now. So basically what I'm telling you is every possible hazard you could have with this cell is what we have going on right now. So please be careful. Speaking of heat, we're going to be under the stove here. Well, under the ridge, I should say, is that high pressure still with us above. That's going to compress the air even more and really heat things up as we head into the next couple of days. But as the flow kind of flattens out, we're still going to have to work through this heat. But by the end of the weekend, a little bit cooler air looks to move our way. I mean, this is one of those huge summertime highs. It's not in a hurry to go anywhere. And now on the back side of this, here comes that tropical moisture out of the west and southwest, and that's going to juice things up for us and energize the atmosphere. And we'll be looking at some storms to get going in here by the time we get to 5 through about 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Now, you notice this signifies where the clouds break up. One big chilly pool out to the Pacific. That's surrounded by this system right here. This is going to take a track straight to the east as we go through tomorrow. And the thing with this is most of the moisture will stay to the south of us. That's because it'll be shunned by the cold air. It's going to move in from the northeast. So what does all that mean? Well, it means more clouds and wind than actual snow. Let me show you the mosaic on that. We'll see increasing clouds a little here and there. Not for those of you to the south, but those of us to the north of northern El Paso County. Now we'll see a little bit of snow start around Teller County at 1, 2 o'clock. Rain, snow, can't decide what it wants to do here about Fort Carson. And then here's our little window of opportunity for some snow, 5 through about 7 o'clock. It doesn't look to be more than about a dusting with that and a quick mover. So that's why we're keeping it mainly cloudy skies just for Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday evening where we get that slight chance of some moisture. After that, though, it's all drying up, and then we're back to the 60s Friday and Saturday. So much like what we had today, we'll start off this weekend, and then for Sunday we're going to head for 48 late with numbers in the low 40s and a chance of some showers again on Monday.